Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're redimming the lights and diving deep into one of the most iconic horror films of the last decade. The Conjuring. The movie terrified audiences worldwide with its chilling tale of the Perron family and the paranormal investigators. Ed and Lorraine Warren. But the most terrifying part, it claims to be based on a true story. So, how much of what we saw on screen actually happened? Let's investigate. First, let's set the scene. In 1971, Roger and Caroline Perron, along with their 5 daughters, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April, moved into a charming old farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. It seemed like the perfect place to raise their family. But according to the family themselves, the dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Almost immediately after moving in, strange things started to happen. It began with small, seemingly harmless incidents. A broom moving on its own, small piles of dirt appearing in the kitchen after it had just been cleaned. The girls reported seeing spirits, some friendly and some filled with anger. One spirit they often saw was a kindly old woman who would kiss them goodnight, but there were darker entities as well. The most malevolent spirit, and the one central to the movie's plot, was identified as Bathsheba Sherman. According to local legend, Bathsheba was a woman who lived on the property in the 19th century. The legend claims she was a practitioner of dark arts who sacrificed her own infant as an offering. She was said to have cursed the land, declaring that anyone who tried to live there would meet a tragic end. While the historical accuracy of Bathsheba's story is heavily debated by historians, with some finding no records of her being accused of such acts, the Perron family was convinced she was the source of their torment. They believed she saw Caroline Perron as a rival for control of the household and wanted her gone by any means necessary. This is where Ed and Lorraine Warren enter the picture. For those unfamiliar, Ed was a self-taught demonologist, and his wife Lorraine was a professed clairvoyant and medium. They were the most famous paranormal investigators of their time, involved in many high-profile cases, including the Amityville haunting. Desperate for help, Caroline Perron contacted the Warrens, who agreed to investigate the farmhouse. Their investigation, which spanned several years, is the backbone of the Conjuring film. Lorraine Warren claimed to feel a dark presence immediately upon entering the home, describing it as a malignant force. Now, let's compare the film to the family's accounts. The movie is packed with dramatic and terrifying scenes. Remember the hide and clap game, or the scene where the witch attacks one of the daughters from atop the wardrobe. According to Andrea Perron, the eldest daughter, who later wrote a book trilogy about their experiences called House of Darkness, House of Light. These specific events were creative liberties taken by the filmmakers for cinematic effect. The clapping game never happened, nor did the wardrobe attack. However, she maintains that the asterisk feeling asterisk and the asterisk intensity asterisk of the haunting portrayed in the movie were very real. The family did experience beds shaking violently, strange noises, objects being thrown, and a constant sense of being watched. One of the most significant differences between the movie and the real story involves the climactic exorcism scene. In the film, Ed Warren performs an exorcism on Caroline Perrone to save her from possession by Bathsheba. This is a dramatic high point, but it's not what actually happened. Firstly, Ed Warren was not an ordained priest, so he didn't have the authority from the Catholic Church to perform an exorcism. What the family describes is not an exorcism, but a séance. During this séance, which took place in the cellar, things reportedly went horribly wrong. Andrea Perrone described her mother speaking in a strange voice and being thrown across the room. It was so terrifying that her father, Roger, punched the investigators and threw them out of the house, fearing his wife would be seriously harmed. He believed the Warrens' presence was making things worse, not better. After that night, Roger Perrone demanded the Warrens leave and never return. The family continued to live in the house for several more years, simply because they were financially trapped and couldn't afford to move. They learned to coexist with the spirits, both good and bad. They finally managed to sell the house and move away in 1980. So, the neat, tidy ending of the movie, where the evil is vanquished and the family is safe, is pure Hollywood. In reality, the Perron family's ordeal didn't have a clear resolution. They simply left it behind. The current owners of the house have also reported paranormal activity, which keeps the legend alive. So, how true is The Conjuring? The verdict is complex. The core elements are there: the Perron family, the Harrisville farmhouse, the presence of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and the reports of a haunting attributed to a spirit named Bathsheba. The family themselves, particularly Andrea Perrone, has confirmed that their home was haunted and that the general feeling of dread was accurate. However, many of the film's most memorable and terrifying scenes were fictionalized to create a more compelling narrative for the big screen. The movie condensed a decade of experiences into a shorter timeline and dramatized the climax for maximum impact. It's a classic case of a story based on true events, rather than documenting them. It captures the emotional truth of the family's fear, even if it fudges the factual details. What do you think? Do you believe the Perron family's story, or do you think it was a mix of suggestion and overactive imaginations? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a fascinating case that blurs the line between history, memory, and entertainment. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We'll see you in the next one. Stay curious.